Welcome. Allow me to introduce myself. Again, allow me to introduce myself. I am Count Frightculous, and I will be your guide into the chilling, spooky scariness of the world, and maybe even perhaps the universe. But for now, our journey is taking us down the road of the scary stories, and we do this all the time. So if you've never seen one, then you're in for a real treat. But make sure you subscribe right away and like the video. Share this with a lot of people. Share it so much that it's scary people, everybody you can think of. Share it anyway. Like it, and yes, subscribe. Again, subscribe. Ooh, let me tell you, subscribe. Subscribe to the video, to the channel, like the video. Subscribe to the channel and like the video, yes, and share it with everybody that you see in the street, even strangers. You might be walking down the street and you just, hey, you need to go watch this YouTube channel. Check this out right now. You see somebody that looks, like they're scary. Hey, you look scary. Go watch this video about the scary stories. Okay, yes. It'll be very frightculous, let me tell you. Anyway, so we're looking at the very scary stories and we're reviewing them to see if they are really scary. But don't take my word for it. We have, at the very end of this video, stay to the end, to see the demon baby give you her rating for this scary story. But we need to find the scary story first. Where will we go to find? I'm looking around. Where is a book of scary stories? Oh, there's a knocking at the door. Who could it be? Let's go see who it is and what could they possibly want at this time. It's none other than the Grim Picker, and he has chosen for us the book of scary stories we're going to review. Oh, I'm very excited about this one. Let's get right into it. But I have to warn you, like I always do, never deny the choice of the Grim Picker. Once the decision is made, it must not be undone. So let us go, because we're not going to undo this, but we're going to do this right now. Review the book of scary stories. This book is called Dark Mansion. Ooh, scary story for today. Dark Mansion. And at the top, we look at the cover. Right away, let's go in and look. The cover. Forbidden Tales of Dark Mansion. Ooh, that sounds very foreboding. The big scary haunted houses, those big mansions that have the Victorian look to them sometimes, or you can just tell they look very creepy and scary. I'm like, who designed this house? It looks scary. I mean, you're just inviting it to be haunted, Make it very pleasant. Paint it white, number one. Put a white picket fence. Plant a lot of colorful flowers everywhere too, Don't make it foreboding. Don't make it dark. Don't tint all the windows dark. Don't make it have these weird angles and little steeple things coming up out of everywhere. You're just asking to be haunted. Why would you do that to yourself? Don't do it, okay? But Dark Mansion, here we go. Right now, we're going to start on this one. Here we go, and on the front cover again, it says, "What is happening to Brock Marston? And why?" And the title, "The Man Who Waxed and Waned." And there's a guy there, and looks like he's melting. He's either melting or he's, somebody, he's a baker, and he had a cake with him, and it was a very hot summer day, and the cake started to melt, and he got it all over him, Or maybe he was carrying a big tub of ice cream, and it melted, and now he's standing in a puddle of it. But no, I'm joking with you. I'm sure that's not what it is. Although I'm looking at it now and I'm like, yeah, that could totally be a lot of melting ice cream, and he was trying to eat it, and before it all melted, but he couldn't. It was a giant bowl it was a scary, frightculous bowl of ice cream that he couldn't finish, and he got it all over him. Or either that or he works at a glue factory and, or somebody dropped a big vat of glue on him and now he's stuck. I'm kidding, I'm just making up frightculous ideas here, don't worry. I'm sure those aren't what's really going on. But we see the crowd there and it looks like, I guess that's a cafe. Yes, he's walking by the cafe and there's these people and they're all freaked out. They're looking at what the heck is going on with this dude. Now I notice on there, if you look right down here in the bottom, it says hot dog. And then you go over here and it says Brussels sprouts. So they're serving hot dogs, but you can also get Brussels sprouts. I wonder if that's a special for the day, Brussels sprouts. I don't know, a cafe, you're going to a cafe and you're worried about eating some Brussels sprouts? That seems very, anyway, and then down here in the very bottom too, it says, plus a second mind chiller. Ooh, another mind chiller there as well. So let's get right into the story. Here we go. Oh, we open the page up and right away this book obviously belonged to Maria Vallee. I wonder who that was. We can only speculate who Marie was. We do know she liked reading the scary stories, didn't she? All right, so for some reason they have a very attractive woman right at the very top, and I guess she's kind of the host, even though we don't know anything about her. So we'll just skip right through that. But again, the title of this one is The Man Who Waxed and Waned. All right, well, we'll read the beginning just because. This is a brand that we've never done any Dark Mansion books. So let's see what this dark-haired woman has to say that's very scantily clad, of course. She says, "Greetings, traveler, and welcome to the mist-enshrouded netherworld of Dark Mansion. Now that you're here, we'd best not tarry, for even now distant hallways beckon us and numberless forgotten rooms call our names in ghostly whispers. Are you fearful of the coming journey? Then come, let me soothe your anxious spirit with this story of The Man Who Waxed and Waned." Whew, that was a relief. At first when she was like, "Let me soothe you," I was like, wait a minute, who is this woman? Is she a lady of the night in another capacity? Hey. Forget that. All right, let's go. All right, so The Man Who Waxed and Waned. Right away we have this woman, a very old woman, and she's sitting in the basement, and she's got a little doll there, and she's got a knife, and ooh, that looks creepy. I'm already a little bit scared here, but that's just kind of the what do you call it? The forward going there kind of gives you an idea, but we don't need that. We'll just go right into the story, right to the scary story, right now. It starts out, there's a guy sitting in the car. We see these gangsters, and they come out, and then this guy, all of a sudden, he's waiting very patiently for them, apparently, and then he comes out and he shoots them. So we find out that the main character in this, whose name is Brock Marsden, he's a hitman. He apparently works for the mafia, or maybe he works for the mob, or maybe he's just a freelancer who is a hired gunman, but he's very patient. He sits and he takes these guys out and he tries to escape, but then, there they are, they recognize him. Brock Marsden's in that car, blam, blam, blam. And he's like, my shoulder. Maybe he recognized me, gotta get out of the city fast. And he's driving for a long time, and he finally passes out, he can't drive anymore. But then, quickly, he wakes up, and he's in a bed. And here it is many hours before Marsden awakes. And when he does, what am I doing here? Who are you? Shh, Sonny, after all you've been through, you need to rest. You need to get some rest, I should say. And it's this haggardy old woman, and he's laying in the bed. So already, just this one panel here, this movie already reminds me of that movie, Misery, with James Caan and Kathy Bates, where he's a writer, and then she rescues him, but then she holds him hostage, and she turns out to be a lunatic, and it's kind of like torturing him and everything. This book came out in 1973. I believe that's before Stephen King wrote Misery. So again, we have another book that's very similar to a movie that came out later. So, these scary stories are kind of relative throughout the ages of time, So when you think, oh, that was a very innovative, no, I think maybe that was just the movie that made that kind of story famous, right? But there were already people writing stories like that already, They say that there are no new ideas, you just keep reinventing the ones that are already done. Every story has been told at this point. We're just reinventing the stories in a new capacity, but it's the same ideas, right? Here we go. This is a good example, maybe. But let's see how this one goes anyway. So we turn the page, and yeah, she doesn't look, she's not a very handsome woman, is she? And she's like, it wasn't easy carrying you here, an old lady like me, but I didn't mind. Hee hee. She's laughing. Okay, right there I'd be like, oh, thank you for carrying me. Now I'm going to go. If he can walk, I would just get up and say, I'm out of here. I'm in a strange house. This woman is laughing and talking about how she carried me here. Somehow my clothes are removed. I'm very scared, right? I'd be freaked out if I was Brock Marston, okay? No telling what's going on right now. Here, drink some of this broth. We want to make you well again, don't we? Hee hee hee. She's laughing a lot. That's very scary. And he says, yeah, sure, thanks. So he drinks it, I guess this guy's a hired killer, Not a lot probably scares him. He's probably been through a lot. He was shot, obviously, But he's like, that's my boy. Wow, you're looking better already. And then he says right here, looks like I lucked out. This place will make a perfect hideout till I'm well enough to travel. But does she have to keep cackling like something out of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs? Or I would say cackling like, something like, the Wizard of Oz or something, that wicked old witch. Ooh, boy, I would think of a scarier story than Snow White. Anyway, he goes on, days pass, he's still there, he's recovering, and he's like, hey, I'm just hanging out. The old lady's kind of a Looney Tune of the year, but she seems harmless, and, hey, it's okay, it's cool, I'm just going to hang out here. As he says right here in this panel, I'll read it right here. She spends half the time in the basement, probably making preserves or something. See, I'd be kind of creeped out. I'd want to know what she's doing. What does he do all day? Just sit in the bed? I mean, does he have a TV? Do you have any magazines to read? I mean, what is he doing all day? I'd be looking around or something. But anyway, so they go down and they show us in the basement. It's very creepy looking. There's a big cauldron, with a fire going, and she's got these little dolls, and she says, well, who are you going to pick for me this time, Selma girl? Oh, you're just curious about Jones, the banker, are you? I never did like bankers. Oh, she doesn't like the bankers. Well, bankers do get a bad rap because they're kind of holding your money, and anytime somebody else is holding onto our money, we have issues, we're like, hey, I need this or that, and they're sorry, that's not what the bank could do. We get very angry at the banker, right? Because like, hey, that's my money, give me my money. And you can't get your money, and then you have to just wait. You have to wait for the check to clear, even though the utilities are going to get cut off. Anyway, not like I'm speaking out of personal experiences or anything like that, but just saying, I'm not very scared right now. If the banker, you know what I mean? The banker, okay. All right, Selma, if you want him, you shall have him. And the cat's meowing, and there you go. She throws the doll, and the cat rips this doll up, whatever it is, rips it up. And then the next day we see local banker slain, and he's like, he sees that, and then, he's thinking, well, he's still thinking like, well, it's good that I'm hanging out here, I'm glad to be here, I'm getting away, I'm hiding because people are looking for me, they knew I took out those two dudes, so I need a place to stay. But then we get right into it again, and there you go, she's chopping the head off another doll now, and right there, I mean, she's a very wicked woman, and I don't understand, she has a lot of these dolls that she's making, and she's killing them one by one, but they don't tell you why. It's just, she's just a bitter old woman. So you wonder, why did she drag this man then into her home and feed him and helping him get better? It doesn't make sense. And as we go in the story, I don't see anything that's telling us why either. So he says, okay, and then he listens to the radio, he hears about some woman that was, she apparently got her head chopped off, what is this? They found the headless body of Mrs. Carl Vanderhaven, wealthy socialite and latest victim in the recent string of bizarre, apparently motiveless murders. Yes, it is motiveless. We don't know, and then we still don't know. This the old woman's like, I don't like bankers. This lady here, whatever, chop the head off. Just get rid of them. He's like, all of this is weird, and then she's like, hey, I'm going to the store. Do you need anything? He's like, nah, I'm good. She's like, well, I'll be back. And she leaves, and he's right there. There she goes, number one on my personal creep parade. That's a good line there. He's like, "Brr, I could sure use a stiff drink," right? So now he's curious. He wants some alcohol, and he's looking around, and he sees the basement. He goes, "I'm going to go down to the basement and see if I can find me something to drink around here. You know, I'm hanging out, got this crazy nutbag woman, you know, hideous old woman, and I just need some alcohol at this point to pass the time. I'm getting a little bored laying around this house, this creepy house, listening to all the deaths, you know, on the radio." So he goes down in the basement, he finds the parts, and he figures it out. He solves he's like, "Wait a minute, the banker died. This looks like the banker. He's shredded up. The woman's head, that looks like the socialite." He figures out that somehow this old woman is doing some wicked, evil magic to kill these people, and he's like, nah, it's impossible. I've just been hanging around this odd house too, but what if it's true? I've got to find out. I've got to. And think about it. He's a killer. He's a hitman. And if he could figure out how this woman is doing it from the luxury of her, well, creepy basement, then he wouldn't have to go out and risk his life, you know, and be shot at anymore. So later, you know, she comes home. "Yoo-hoo, Sonny, I'm home." And then he goes down and he says, "You certainly are a wicked one, Selena. I was going to save this one for last. He looks so disgusted." Or no. He looks so disgusted. "He looks so distinguished." Not disgusted. She looks disgusted. She looks disgusting, I should say. Well, then he pops out of nowhere. "What are you doing down here? No one is allowed in my workshop. No one." She looks very angry, very wicked face. Ooh, that's a scary looking face there. Old woman. I would be a little nervous if I was him, even if he's bigger than the man and he can take this old woman out. But if he realizes she's doing some kind of black magic, you don't know what else she's capable of. You know what I mean? He's like, "Well, I'm here, good looking, and I want some answers. Those weird murders, they're your doing, aren't they?" No, it's just an innocent game, an old lady's game. Let me go." He says, "No, you're going to tell me. I want to know. You better tell me now or I'm going to kill you." He tells her, he's like, "Look, just tell me how you're doing this. I'm not going to squeal on you. I just want to know how you're killing these people." And she says, No, you won't get my secret." She says right there, "Well, that's just too bad. It's my secret, a magic secret, and I'll never tell it to you. Never!" He's like, "All right, well, you see him right there. He's got the knife. You know what's going to happen next." He runs her through with the knife. Then he throws her, for some reason, he throws her in the big cauldron here. And that's actually wax. We find that's actually a cauldron of wax. Throws her in the wax, and then he's like, "Well, I got to get out of here. This place has been giving me the creepy crawlers from the minute I laid eyes on it." So he leaves without knowing the secret. But he's like, "Well, she's dead, so whatever." Right? He's a very cold-hearted man. We see that right away. She takes him in, and he's very mean. You know, he doesn't say mean things to her, but in his mind, he's like, "This woman's creepy. This woman's ugly. This woman is insane." And then he wants her secret. She won't tell him, so he just kills her. But he is a hired killer. We find that out. He's working for the mafia or somewhere. He's a hitman, so killing is really no big deal to him, right? So he gets in the car, he drives away. He's talking about, "I'm going to go to Mexico." But then we see the cauldron, and it caught fire, and now he's getting all sweaty hot. And then here we see that the house is burning down here. Fire, look, the whole place is in flames. Let's call the fire department. An old lady lives there, all alone. She may still be in there. And then, you know, the house is burning to the ground, and he's sweating, profusely, as we see. He doesn't know why, and, you know, the flames, but then we see, all of a sudden, he melts. And he's melting. He's in the airport melting. And this boy down here says, "What's wrong with that man, Mommy?" "Why, I don't know, dear." And then he says, "What's that you say, Brock Marston? You're burning up, you say? You can't breathe? And what did you say the sweat was doing? Dripping?" And then we see, "Mommy, look, my Lord." And he's melting. Well, we find out that the old woman had apparently made a wax figure of him. Even though she was very nice to him, apparently she made a lot of wax figures. So my question is, how many other people died? Because I'm pretty sure there were other wax dolls or figures, you know, down in the basement. So all of a sudden you're going to see the next day in the paper about 20 or 30 people are dead by melting. So I don't know if they would ever figure out that mystery, but we can assume that it's all wrapped up because the house burned down, the woman's dead, and I guess the wax is gone, right? But he's gone too, and you know, he did it to himself. He could have just accepted the nice pleasantries of the woman, but he was an evil man anyway, so he was doomed at some point. His time was going to come, and probably in a bad way because of what he was in life, a hired killer. He was a killer, a murderer, right? So he did it as a profession, so he was doomed a horrible fate already. But, you know, I would say melting alive, well, that's not very fun. But, you know, this does remind me of a movie, The Man That's Melting Like This. Remember in Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, right? Remember at the end, the Nazi, the guy, he melts, his face melts because they looked at the ark, right? And he melted, his face melted off. That's kind of what I picture this looking like. You know, he's melting away. Ooh, it's very scary, very frightening. It's very horrific to see that. Ugh. All right, we'll go into the next story. There are only 2 stories in this scary story book, so we're going to go ahead and jump into the second story right now. And this one is called The Eavesdropper. Uh-oh. See? You start eavesdropping on people, you know, you don't want to listen to the walls too much, you know, at least keep it to yourself. But we'll find out what that means as we go into the story. And right away, we've got this guy. He's a pretty good-looking guy. He's sitting there on a bench and looks like a lobby. It says, it all began as a lonely Frank Grogan sat in the lobby of his apartment building. See, right there. He's saying, what a boring life. And he's like, right here, he's like, how do some lugs meet such good-looking women? Well, I sit in my apartment night after night, alone. Well, isn't that nice? A new tenant. Hey, she's smiling at me. She's coming over. So this guy, Frank Grogan, you know, apparently he's a good-looking guy, but he's like, hey, how come I'm not meeting anyone? Well, probably because you're sitting in your apartment night after night. You're going to have to get out and do something, get some activities. You know, you're saying you're boring. Well, you're making yourself bored. You don't have to be bored. You can go out and find something. You can go out and, ride a bicycle. You could join a club of some kind. You could go play bingo. I don't know. You could do a lot of things. You can meet people in a lot of ways. Take up some kind of class, you know. Take a class, learn something. Join a book club, the Scary Story Book Club maybe, and you could meet people. Who knows? Frank Grogan, but instead you're sitting in your apartment moping around going, why can't I meet a good-looking woman? How do these idiots meet these women? Well, they're getting out there and you're not. So get out there, Frank Grogan. But it doesn't matter because he sees a woman and he caught her eye, she caught his eye, whatever, and she's approaching him. And so now he's like, hi, would you be a love and help poor little me with my luggage? It's out by the curb. I can't seem to find the doorman. The doorman always disappears when you need him, but never fear, Frank Grogan is here. Lead the way. I think I know why Frank Grogan is sitting alone at home at night. When you meet a girl, and this is the first thing you say, it's like, never fear, Frank Grogan is here. Okay, Frank, you're pouring it on a bit thick right at the beginning. You're going to scare her off. Just tone it down a notch, Frank. So anyway, he helps her with the luggage, and he's like, oh, don't worry. You know, he's got a lot of suitcases, and he takes her all the way up to the room. He finds out that her name is Pythia, right there. My name is Pythia. I live on this floor. He said, isn't this a coincidence? You live on my floor. Wouldn't it be something if we turned out to be next-door neighbors? Wouldn't it? She's questioning that. So right away, I'm a little suspicious of Pythia. But, Frank Grogan is all excited. Ooh, Frank Grogan pouring it on, and she hasn't run away from him. Well, she needs him to carry the luggage. So, you know, she's probably humoring him. Anyway, so he goes in, and she sees, oh, wait a minute, you know. Darling, sorry I'm so late. I don't know how I would have managed if Frank... Oh, I'm sorry, Frank. This is my husband. Wah, wah, wah. See, that's always the way. You meet the pretty girl, and she kind of flirts with you a little bit, and then you find out she's got the boyfriend or she's married, but you know, she just needed you to help her with something, so she teases you, flirts with you, and then you do it, and then okay. And here he goes, he's walking down, very angry. Boy, am I a chump, carrying all that luggage for nothing. Hey, what's wrong with him? Why didn't he carry her suitcases? And then she's running after him. Frank, wait, don't be angry, I can explain. And then she's flirting with him some more here, but I would be suspicious at this point. But he says, my husband isn't strong like you. He can't carry suitcases or do a lot of things. In fact, he's not expected to live. Goodbye for now. I hope I'll be seeing more of you soon. So again, I would be like, okay, I mean, that's kind of odd. She's still married. If I was Frank, again, Frank, go out and join a book club, okay? Frank, go out and take up tennis lessons or something. Don't get involved with the nutty Pythia, you know, with the weird husband that's going to die, and I don't know, I would just be very suspicious. I'd be like, okay, thank you, Pythia, you know, but no, Frank's there, he's dreaming about Pythia, and he's all, ooh, I can't get you out of my mind. And he can hear through the walls, and he hears they're gonna take and he's like, oh, he's waiting, that's what he sees, he's waiting so he can jump out and see Pythia and talk to her again. So again, now he's stalking her. Frank, again, go get a part-time job. Do anything, Frank. Instead of stalking this woman who's married and kind of weird anyway, taking advantage of you, even though she has a very weak, feeble husband, and then telling you he's going to die. I mean, that's weird. That's very weird. Pythia is strange. Get away, Frank. Be like that guy in the other story. Get a job at the lunch counter, and you got all the women, you know, they're funneling right to you. They have to come to you to pay for their meal, and then you can just sit there and flirt with the ones that you think are attractive. Hey, not a bad idea. That's for you people out there, all you little kids out there looking to start to try to date. And you're like, I don't know what to do. Go get a job at the McDonald's or the Burger King, or I don't know, go get a job somewhere at the cashier, and the ladies are gonna have to come and talk to you because they have to pay for the meal. And then if you can think of something good to say, see, these scary stories aren't just scary, they give you some good ideas too on how to pick up women. Just read a scary story. And then in the end, they probably kill you. But anyway, let's get back to the story. Here it is. So then he's gonna, oh, look, she's taking the garbage out. I've got mine ready too. Oh, wow, I'm going to see her. And then he goes out, but it's the husband, and he's very distraught, and he's like, oh, when am I going to see you again? But then he starts hearing noises, and he's hearing banging around, and he's hearing shouting, and it sounds like, you know, there's a fight going on, and he gets very concerned, and he thinks somehow, you know, that the husband is abusing her, and he's very upset. But then, you know, you see him walking in the lobby, and then here she comes up to him. Oh, Frank, I must speak with you. Hey, cool it, baby. You want to start a fight right here? And then Pythia was at his side, urgently whispering in his ear, save me, rescue me. And then the husband's over here, look at him, very feeble, but he's like, look, mister, for your own good, stay out of this. That's a good warning. Whenever if a girl is dating a guy and then somehow you start kind of, she takes interest in you, and the boyfriend or the husband, whoever, tells you, hey man, I'm just warning you, man, you better stay away for your own good. He knows something you don't, okay? Trust that man. You may think, oh, she's very good looking, I want to be with her, but trust the man. He's been with her longer. He knows what's going on here. Take that advice. Run away. Please, learn again from this book. Learn. It's a valuable lesson. Save yourself a lot of horror and grief, my young men out there, or men in general, when the other guy tells you to be careful and stay away. Be very careful and stay away. So anyway, he goes back to his room, and he's hearing all the crashing and the booming, and he just can't take it anymore. He's like, I've got to help her. And he goes and he breaks the door down. And when he goes in, look at this, very scared. Oh, no. He's very scared. He sees something. What did he see? Well, here we go. He sees the husband is on the floor. There's a giant python-looking snake biting it on the neck. That bum probably brought it up here to murder Pythia, but it killed him too. Uh-oh, it spotted me. And it lunges at him, and he gets away, and he runs away. He goes back to his apartment, and he boards his apartment up. Look at this. He piles every piece of furniture he has up against the door because he's afraid this giant snake is going to come after him. And then all of a sudden, he hears some knocking. He's like, what's going on? And then he hears her voice. Frank, hurry, open up. It's me, Pythia. Pythia, you're alive? Look at his face. The man is demented, okay? He's love struck. He's he's been blinded by love. He doesn't realize a giant snake in the woman's apartment, and somehow she lives through it. I'd be like, this is too much, okay? Way too much for me, all right? But then I would put two and two together and I'd say, Pythia, her name is Pythia, and there was a python in her apartment. Doesn't take a genius now, you kind of start having to look and read between the lines, my friend. But anyway, she hugs him and says, oh, I'm so distraught, thank you, I don't know what to do, my husband's dead, now there's no one to protect me but you. She's thrown herself into his arms. It doesn't make sense. If I was Frank, you see, Frank is so lonely, he just accepts it, says, oh, okay, you know what, I see all the red flags, there's so many things here for me to run away from, but she wants to be with me, I'm going to. So right away, they get married. No time flat, they get married. He seems like he is, he's like, wow, I finally got this. And he's whispering to her, you won't regret this, baby. I'm going to be a lot better for you than your skinny ex-husband. Why would you say that on your wedding day? He's marrying her. They're kissing. They just got married. He's like, I'm going to be better than that skinny, sorry of an excuse ex-husband you had. Hey, why don't you forget about that, man? Move forward. That is not the right thing to say on your wedding day. Just seems very odd. And she doesn't mind at all. Oh, darling, you're everything I've always wanted. And then he carries her home and they go to bed and she's going, oh, I'm going to go and get something comfortable. He gets into bed and then all of a sudden, here comes the snake. And it attacks him. And then we move on and we find out that Pythia is turning into the snake. And she's sucking the blood off of her husband. She's feeding off of her husband's. And for some reason, the husbands are powerless to get away from her. I would think, because right there, soon afterwards, hey, did you see that? That good-looking broad with the skinny guy winked at me. Wonder what she wants. Why don't you ask her? Well, we know what Frank Brogan's going to say. Frank's going to go, trust me, stay away, stay away. See, it's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle. This snake woman preys on either one. I almost think this is a little bit like an analogy. I think whoever wrote that story may have been jilted a few times by women, and now he's writing a little bit negative story. But it's a scary story nevertheless. We could swap, we could put the man and the woman and somehow try to try to switch places with that, but I don't think so. I think this is the way it has to be, because guys are the idiots, we're the ones that just follow around like little sheep. We need to start thinking a little bit better. Look for the warning signs. See, women, they look for red flags. Men, we just walk right past them. We don't even look to see the red. We don't see any colors. All we see is the woman, and the shape of her body, and then that's it, right? Who sees colors, right? It's always the joke. It's like, they're wearing a shirt that says something, or they're wearing a hat, and the guy's like, what hat? You know what I mean? We're totally oblivious whenever there's a beautiful woman. So we gotta learn. The scary stories can teach us something. And with that, we're going to go to the Demon Baby to get the review, or the rating. Here we go, see the scary smoke coming in. Okay, we got it here, we got it already, please. All right, we'll see you in just a moment. We'll be right back. Clear away some of this smoke we have here in the room. So here we are. We're waiting for the Demon Baby to become aware so she can give us a rating for this scary book story called Dark Mansion, right? The name itself is not super hauntingly scary. It does sound foreboding. The Dark Mansion, we're always scared of these houses that look kind of like haunted, right? So we can imagine that the stories coming from them would be scary. But anyway, here's the Demon Baby. She's aware, and now she will give us a rating for these scary stories contained in Dark Mansion. She seems to be thinking about this one for a little bit, and there we go. One head spin for this one, for this scary story here. All right, that's one. And then whether we're going to get another head spin or not, that's two head spins for that one. Okay, 2 head spins. Are we going to have any more head spin? Oh, wait a minute, look at this. 3 head spins. Are you kidding me? Demon Baby is going to give this one 3 head spins? Maybe she's been jilted sometime in her life and that last story really rang true with her. But I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. What is she doing there? What Demon Baby? She can't be giving another head spin. Oh, wait, she's going back a head spin. Oh, only 2 head spins. She's back to 2 head spins. Were you just taunting me there, demon baby? Were you taunting us? Were you leading us on, much like Pythia led on Frank Rogan, thinking there were going to be more head spins, and then you pulled it away like Charlie Brown with the football, Lucy, you know, when she pulls the football away from Charlie Brown and he goes flying into the air. Okay, anyway, good one there on us, demon baby. Thank you so much. And there she's gone now. So yes, it was 2 head spins again, only 2 head spins. I'm telling you, 2 head spins is the threshold. I mean, we can't hardly ever seem to get past that, but maybe one of these days. And with that, I have to bid you a farewell. I'm so thankful for you to be here. Hopefully you learn a few life lessons from these scary stories. And if not, well, maybe you were at least entertained just a little bit. And with that, I'm going to bid you a farewell. And I have to say to you, have a very, peaceful yet scary night. And here we're going to try to really bring it home. There we go. Oh, the smoke has really been working lately. I'm very happy with that. All right, here we go. And wait, let me just say, okay, thank you for joining, and we'll see you the next time. Take care, everyone.